Hi, my name is Josie Cost, and I am thankful to have the opportunity to share some of my story with Moms Together. The ministry of Moms Together has been a tremendous help and blessing to my life, and I am thankful that I was able to participate in the groups the past 2 years. I wish circumstances would allow all of us to be together, yet I am thankful for the technology that allows us to connect while being in different places. Tonight's topic is an attitude of gratitude, and in the year 2020, gratitude may be a very hard attitude to embrace. Let's face it, 2020 has been filled with a lot of letdowns. Canceled trips, lost jobs, isolation, quarantine, unplanned homeschooling, working from home plus being a full-time mom, and many other circumstances and situations could be added to this list. With all of the negative, it raises this question: how do you stay grateful during times when it seems as though everything is uncertain and unraveling before your very eyes? Here is my story. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful children, a 5-year-old girl and boy-girl twins that are now 3 years old. My husband is a teacher, and I'm a musician working from home while caring for my 3 kiddos. 2020 has been a challenging year for everyone. When COVID hit, preschool for my strong-willed 5-year-old was over. Activities that helped me feel some sense of sanity with the twins came to a screeching halt. I was learning a new platform of virtual teaching, recording music remotely, and my husband and I were figuring out how to share space. This introvert was suddenly surrounded by people all the time, and those moments for peace and recharging now happen later in the day, if at all. If asked, I am sure we could all share ways that 2020 has changed us and challenged us, and on the surface, it would be easy to say that 2020 should just disappear from the calendar. So where's the gratitude in all of this? My husband and I were married in 2006 and had our plans of focusing on our careers before starting a family. We both worked a lot of hours, and I was able to piece together enough work teaching private lessons and freelancing that I was able to be fully employed as a musician. We purchased our first home in 2012, and in 2014 we started talking about the possibility of starting a family. We were blessed with a beautiful baby girl on March 21st, 2015, and somehow after the birth of Rebecca, we were able to adjust to life as a family of 3 and resume working. Life was good. Fast forward to 2016. My heart really wanted another child so Becca would not be alone. My husband warmed up to the idea, and we found out on my 35th birthday that we were expecting again. We had a plan of how to care for 2 young children in place, and then found out at the 20-week ultrasound that we were expecting not only a boy, but also a girl. Twins. 3 children under the age of 3 in the house at once. It was a shock, and my plans for continuing to work were adjusted again. I am thankful for the friends who had walked a similar path before me, and that I was able to press the pause button and be home with all 3 kiddos full time. We welcomed Christian and Charlotte into our lives on August 16, 2017. They were healthy, full-term babies, and as they approached their first birthday, I started making plans to slowly resume some of my teaching and performing activities outside the home. I connected with Moms Together in September 2018, and Becca started preschool, giving me some downtime with the twins. I was eating healthy, the baby weight was coming off, and slowly but surely, I started teaching a handful of lessons outside the home every week. Life as a family of 5 was good, and as 2018 finished and 2019 was ready to begin, I was filled with a renewed sense of expectation and reminders of God's goodness. "2019 was a year beyond expectation. In January, I found 2 small lumps in my left breast, which I simply dismissed as a side effect of decreased breastfeeding. After self-monitoring for changes, I called my OB/GYN and we set up an appointment out of an abundance of caution. I still remember that appointment. The doctor was over an hour late. I was very late for preschool pickup, and the doctor confirmed that there were 2 lumps that needed further investigation. A mammogram and ultrasound were scheduled, and at that appointment, I was told I needed to schedule a breast biopsy as soon as possible. The biopsies were completed on a Friday, and the doctor told me at the end of the appointment that the lumps appeared to be related to breastfeeding and to expect good results early in the next week. I entered the weekend with a feeling that these appointments were a minor inconvenience, and my sense of expectation was not shaken. During the same time frame, my husband sustained an injury at work that left him home with a knee injury. He had a follow-up appointment on a Tuesday morning and was anticipating being cleared to return to work. It was an unusually nice day in early February, so I took the kids to a playground as a treat after preschool pickup, and my phone rang. It was the breast center, and the nurse asked if I was able to talk. I mentioned I was at a playground with the kids, and I insisted that I could take the call. The results were in. One of the lumps was benign. The other lump was malignant. You have cancer. That call was brief, and I called my husband asking when he would be home, as we needed to have a longer call with the breast center that afternoon. He told me that he wasn't going back to work for a while and would need knee surgery to repair the damage. We met at home, put the twins down for a nap, handed our oldest the iPad, and had a very lengthy call with the breast center to learn more of the specifics and the details of my diagnosis. I was scheduled to meet a surgeon the next day, and more testing and doctor's appointments followed. The first appointment with the surgeon was really hard. Being diagnosed with cancer wasn't the upsetting part. Being told that I would most likely need to undergo chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation were things to most likely expect in the coming weeks and months. The hardest part was being told that if I wanted more children, I would most likely have to wait at least 5 years, putting me into my early 40s and with no guarantee that we would be able to conceive. My husband and I were talking about the possibility of adding just one more to our family, and now those dreams were crushed. In that moment, I chose to be thankful for the blessing of the children we had, including our bonus baby, Charlotte. During the month of February, it was confirmed that the cancer had spread to the adjacent lymph nodes and I would need chemotherapy before surgery. There were lots of tears that month as plans for the future looked dramatically different than I envisioned, and it was during that month that I really started to experience firsthand the tangible outpouring of love from family, friends, and even strangers that I never met. I had an unexplainable sense of peace and found comfort through keeping a routine, music, and the mundane tasks of life. It was a blessing that my husband was able to be home so I could rest after treatment. We had family members who were able to watch the children while I received chemo, and as my husband was able to be with me each treatment. 2019 included 16 rounds of chemo, surgery, 30 doses of radiation, the purchase of wigs, and more doctor's appointments and blood work than I care to recall. Yet through it all, God continued to be faithful and good. I have been asked to share how to keep an attitude of gratitude during the chaos of mothering during tough times. And for me, it starts with mindset. I had a choice. I could focus on what wasn't working, or I could seek to look for the positive. I could focus on the obstacle, or choose to view the obstacle as an opportunity for transformation and growth. I have jokingly been called annoyingly optimistic, always looking to find the good, and as the challenges and disappointments mounted, I chose to look for the positives. I chose to surround myself with people who shared a similar mindset and allowed their wisdom and insight to influence my outlook. It was a blessing in disguise that my husband was injured and able to be home to help out with the kids as I recovered from treatments. The treatments slowed me down, so I was able to enjoy more quiet moments and snuggles from my littles. I gave myself permission to allow the children to have more screen time on crazy days, and I watched as a community of people surrounded me and my family with prayers, love, and support. This fiercely independent, I can do everything on my own woman learned to be vulnerable and allow others to help. Parenting is challenging, and looking back on 2019, I'm thankful for my little ones. They gave me the drive to fight, and they provided me with a lot of distractions to keep my mind busy. We worked to keep their routine as normal as possible, and there were many days I whispered quiet prayers to God for strength and watched those prayers be answered in many ways. Care packages with toys for my kids, meals, cards in the mail, text messages, gift cards, kindness from strangers while shopping, and the list goes on and on. One of my goals as a parent is to model the behavior I would like to see from my children. For example, in 2018, I chose to embrace a nutrition model that involved eating a wide variety of veggies and drinking more water. As a result, my twins willingly eat vegetables, and it is not uncommon for them to steal my veggie snacks or bites of a salad. The same goes for attitudes. There are many days I fall short, and I'm thankful that every day provides a fresh opportunity to try again. We reinforce saying please and thank you, and I have been known to have my children record thank you videos as a way to say thank you for gifts received. As they learn to write, we will start sending more written notes. It involves saying thank you for the small things, like a meal, clean laundry, a treat, and modeling behavior personally. I also try to balance their requests with a healthy dose of no. I really believe that children have more things and opportunities than I had as a child, and as they grow older, I want to instill in them the joy that comes through serving others. Our world is entitled, and I really believe that one way to break the cycle is through service and giving freely to others. Many of you may be wondering how to practically help when someone is in need. Helping others during a time of need does not need to be anything extravagant. My family was blessed with many meals, busy boxes of toys for my kids that could be set out on a high chair table, spa baskets for extra self-care, takeout food delivered to our door, text messages, cards in the mail, prayers, and offers to help watch the kids while I received treatment. During chemo, I received a card almost weekly with a random quote or an encouraging word from an anonymous person. I quickly identified the handwriting and looked forward to the wisdom in those cards. It was a lot of fun, and I actually find myself missing those cards. I tried to keep up with sending written thank you notes along the way, and I know there are many missed, but the sentiment of gratitude remains the same. The small gestures, meals, childcare, text messages, were the biggest help to me and my family during our time of need. Sometimes it's as simple as making a little extra food and sharing the meal. Often all that is needed is a simple text message saying, "How are you doing? I'm thinking of you today." Friends who claimed to not be good at cooking asked about our favorite takeout orders and set up delivery or simply sent a card with funds to cover a meal. One of my biggest concerns towards the end of my active treatment was finding childcare for my kids as radiation took place daily, Monday through Friday. The treatments themselves were short, and I was brought to tears as another very busy friend offered to meet me and play or sit with my kids during that time. The nurses did all they could do to accommodate my schedule and even spoiled my kids with candy and treats while I received treatment at 8 in the morning. I also had a friend who, when asked if she was able to sit with my kids during an appointment, said, "Thank you for the opportunity to serve. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how." Now I find myself looking for opportunities to give back to others as it was freely given to me during my time of need. I listen for that little voice inside that urges me to send a card, purchase a meal, check in on a friend, or purchase a few extra things for a friend while at the grocery store and drop those items on the porch. Sometimes the need is unspoken. Sometimes it is a matter of noticing that someone may need an extra hand. And sometimes it is a matter of following through on that nudge that says to reach out. One of my life verses is found in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. It says, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. God's plans for my life are beyond anything I could imagine for myself, and who am I to tell the Creator of the universe that my plans and ideas are better than His? In the words of a friend who walked this road before me, cancer wasn't part of my plan, but it is part of my story. Many people have said to me, I bet you wish you could erase 2019 from your life. And my response is no. 2019 is where I witnessed people becoming the hands and feet of Jesus as people provided for us in ways that we could not even imagine. I am thankful that we live in a city with access to great medical care. I am thankful to have been diagnosed at age 37 instead of waiting for a routine exam at age 40. Thankful for the blessings of friendships. Thankful for children who keep life in perspective. Thankful for the many ways God continues to work His plans and purposes for my life out for good. I know that in Him I have hope and my future is secure. My prayer for all of you as we enter this holiday season is that your hearts will be set on finding the joy in the mundane, restoration for broken relationships, hope in the midst of trials, connection through the distance, and peace that passes all understanding. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story.
Hello, I'm back with another fun craft for you all. Today is all about being grateful for our blessings and about giving back to our community, which means it's the perfect day to do a service craft. We are going to make something beautiful and then give it away. Now, for those of you who don't know, for the past 4 years, the Bible Chapel has partnered with Giant Eagle to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. Every year the number varies, but this year there are 70 families throughout all our campuses who are in need of food for their Thanksgiving table. And as a gesture of care and love, we are going to be making centerpieces to accompany their dinner. Because a beautiful table, it just gives that meal a little special something. So for each centerpiece, we will need a box. This is actually Carla's box. This is leftover from Moms Together last year. And then we have a foam core to go inside of it. We're going to use a length of ribbon. You actually have two options. There's burlap ribbon. This is thicker and has like wired edges. And then there's satin ribbon. There's two different colors of this. So you will get to choose which one you want. For this centerpiece, I'm going to use the brown satin, but you can use burlap if you want to. The next thing you're going to need is about 7 or 8 flower stems. So for this one, I'm actually going to be doing a purple and cream assortment, but you can see you can also do a red-orange arrangement as well. So the next thing we need is our leaf stems, and finally our berry stems. So each house has a set number of centerpieces to complete, and you can decide if you want to line up assembly style or have each lady work separately to make their own centerpiece. As you can see, there is an assortment of fall colors. It's going to be random for each house how many you get. Feel free to mix and match, throw some purple in there, do one that's all yellow and white. It's all up to you. You have free reign. So let's get started. All right. So before we fill our box, it's actually a whole lot easier to put the ribbon on before the box has flowers in it. For some reason, when you turn the box upside down, the flowers fall out. It's weird. So find the center point of your ribbon, wrap it around, give it a quick knot, and if you want to make sure that it stays tight and stays put, it's a good idea to give it a double knot. Okay, so we've got our ribbon wrapped around the box. Now I left these ribbons really long, so for the wide burlap ribbon, you're probably only going to get one loop because it's thicker and it's wired, so it's very stiff. But for the satin ribbon, I'm actually going to do 4 loops. So you do 1, 2, like that, and then 1, 2. So you have 2 sets of 2 ribbon, cross, and tuck, and then pull tight. Okay? And you can arrange your loops and arrange your tails as you see fit till you think it looks nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a cute little bow for the front of your box. Okay? So that was the first step, was to put the ribbon on. The next step is your flowers. So we put our foam core in there, and you'll notice the foam is kind of loose in there. It doesn't fit exactly, and that's okay. We're just going to use our flowers to kind of snug that up a little bit. So you want to take your flower and kind of insert it in the side and shove it down into the foam, and that'll just kind of snug that up. We'll do another one. I don't know if you can see, it goes down in the side in this gap here and then shoves into the side of the foam. And now it gets a whole lot tighter. And you may have to do that on all 4 sides to get the foam to where it won't fall out anymore. See, now it's not going to fall out, so these are a whole lot easier for the people delivering the Thanksgiving meals to transport because they're secure. All right, so you can see I put 3 flowers in there to just get it secure, and we kept the stems on these flowers really short because we want this to be a very dense, short bouquet. Again, we're trying to save space in people's cars for all of the people who are delivering these meals. Just kind of tuck flowers in. This one's a little taller, so I'm going to move it to the middle. And actually, I think I'm going to leave this one out because these 7 filled it in pretty nice. And if you're doing this assembly style, it might be a good idea to let one lady do the first couple flowers to like secure it and then pass it on, and the next lady can fill it in with the rest of the flowers. So that's just an idea to keep the line flowing if you're going to do it assembly line style. All right. Now the next step is our leaf stems. Now I only have a few of these tan leaves, so if you're lucky enough to get these are really pretty. There's a lot of the orange and red fall leaves. But you just kind of want to look, see if there's any gaps. And these are meant to stick up a little bit. Just give it a little extra fall flair. They're more of an accent. And then the final step is the berries. These are what I call the thriller stems. If you've ever made bouquets before, you know it's filler, spiller, and thriller. So we're just doing filler and thriller because we have a very short vase. We don't have room for it to spill over, so we're just keeping it to the 2 parts of the bouquet. And these are again meant to stick up a little bit. Maybe not that much. I might have to cut this one down. But we do want to make sure that they are secured in the foam so that they don't fall out. And just kind of space them around. Okay. So there is our centerpiece, and you can see every single one is going to look different. Some are going to stick up more, some are going to be a little bit fuller, and that is totally okay. The last step, I don't actually have one yet, but Sheena is making these gorgeous stickers that say Moms Together, and we're going to put those on the bottom. Don't forget to take the price tag off the bottom. But we're going to have a sticker to put on the bottom just to say who made it. We don't really want to advertise, like it's not about us, but we want the family to know that we care about them. So the sticker on the bottom is kind of like our signature. So don't forget to put a sticker on the bottom of your box just to say that we care. We're done. By the time you're finished, we will have 70 gorgeous, unique, heartfelt centerpieces to go along with our Thanksgiving dinner ministry. Thank you all so much for your help with the service project. I know that the families who receive these are going to feel truly blessed, and I hope you have a wonderful meeting and a happy Thanksgiving.